What's up, Grizz fans? It's your boy, Rusty Buckheads from the $2 Sports Show with your post-game bounce of the Memphis Grizzlies' loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 130-106. But that's not what's really bothering us, is it? No, it's been a long day. I get it. We went to bed last night with dreams of DFS and moving Luke and Jitty and some picks and bringing Dorian Finney-Smith back and adding a piece to this team that could help us with a late playoff run. DFS had playoff experience, and he's shooting a career best from three this year. And there was just a lot of hope. It's like Christmas Eve, right? Like you go to bed with just the hopes and dreams the next morning, and then you wake up and you got your presents there with your family. But on the heels of Christmas, it wasn't meant to be for us. It's been a tough day. I've seen a lot on the timeline of people just sky falling, right? Like Kleiman is soft. He can't get things done. Like, can't believe we didn't make this deal. Kleiman doesn't have any backbone. I even saw one person talking about we're going to continue to have these injuries until we get a new GM. Like Zach Kleiman is out there hurting people and twisting ankles and throwing ugly screens. And apparently Kleiman fought Zach Edey at some point this week and gave him a shiner and a big concussion and kept him out of the game tonight. I'm being facetious, but that's what we're seeing. I wish I was completely kidding, but those are things that I saw on X, formerly known as Twitter, today. And we thought we were going to get a palate cleanser tonight, right? Like, even though we didn't get DFS, we don't have Ja, like we've got a game tonight where we can really flex and get some momentum, only to play the best team in the Western Conference and then find out that not only is Ja out, but Zach Edey is out and Brandon Clark is out. And we had a starting lineup that consisted of Scottie Pippen Jr., Jalen Wells, John Conchar. When John Conchar starts as your power forward, there's not much you can do. And we got to give credit where credit's due. Desmond Bane has been playing really, really well lately. And that continued tonight. He was the Grizzlies' high scorer with 22 points. SGA finished with 35. He did SGA things. But Des shot the ball well, and we were actually within 3 points at the end of the first quarter. And things looked like they were going well. But then the Thunder realized that, hey, they're only missing Chet and Caruso, and they flexed in the second quarter, and the Grizzlies faced their largest deficit of the season at halftime. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and get into stats and numbers. They were ugly, right? Like, everybody was in that negative. The Thunder, we jumped out 9-0, first 9 points of the game, 11-4, and then I saw that the Thunder outscored us like 66-26 after, 66-33 after that, leading up to halftime. It was just an ugly, ugly game. And I'm not going to sit here and say, there's this bright side, there's this bright spot, silver lining this. Like, that sucked. We got our ass kicked, for lack of a better term. But we did see John Morant at halftime. He was shooting one-handed. Yes, he was in a sling. And I said on Twitter that would be a bad sign for an AC joint sprain. And it didn't look great. The optics weren't great. But the fact that he was shooting right-handed, even though he was in a sling, that tells me that it's not that bad. Because if it was a bad AC joint sprain, that would have hurt. He wouldn't have been laughing while he was shooting, that's for sure. Just that jumping motion would have jarred that joint enough, because what it is, your AC joint is where your collarbone and your scapula meet, and it forms the top part of your shoulder right here. It's where all your rotator cuff runs underneath, and as you elevate your arm, it helps with tipping your shoulder blades so you can get all the way up overhead. If that's sprained, if it's bad enough, you'll have a step, and it'll create some issues as that collarbone pinches down into those rotator cuff tendons, which could lead to bigger problems. So that's probably why he was in a sling. I bet it's very swollen. That typically happens with an AC joint sprain. And so we're very much in a wait and see kind of posture. And so I don't know that it's a bad sign that he's in a sling. I think it's a very cautious, it's a smart thing to do. Yes, it might be a grade 2, but that's still not that bad. You're still looking around a 4-week timeline. And so I think it's good news that we saw Ja out there shooting. I hate that we saw Zach Edey not play tonight. Apparently, Kleiman gave him a black eye at some point this week, because that's the trending thing, again, is that our GM is out to get us and he's soft. But if he's giving Zach Edey a black eye, he can't be too soft. But, at the end of the day, it's a loss. We play 82 games a year. There are going to be losses in that. what's frustrating to me as a Grizzlies fan is seeing just the world implode when we lose. Guys, that's the best team in the Western Conference. I mean, the Thunder are great. They lead the NBA. They average 17 stocks a game, and we helped them a ton tonight when it was essentially Jaren, Dez, Jalen, and the G League. I mean, at one point, we had a lineup in the early fourth quarter when we waved the white flag of Yuki, Colin Castleton, Luke Kennard, Jay Huff, and Cam Spencer. Like, we essentially waved the white flag at that point. What more do you want? The fact that we only lost by 24 is still great, considering we were playing with a bunch of G League guys. A loss is a loss. They're going to happen. We're not going to go 82-0. And so it's tough to see people melt down on Twitter. Everybody just needs to take a deep breath. This team's going to be fine. Ja is going to be fine. We are a month away, roughly, from getting Gigi and Vince back. Santi's going to come back at some point. He didn't, from all we know, he didn't break his ankle. He didn't lose his foot. There's a good chance Santi will be back sooner than later. Marcus is probably going to be out for a while, but he wasn't playing a ton anyway. And then Ja's going to be fine. If it's 4 weeks, yes, it's a tough stretch. We're hitting the teeth of our schedule right now. It's not what we wanted heading into this 5-game road trip against some of the better teams in the Western Conference. We felt like this was going to be our chance to get a measure of where we are. And once again, injuries are going to delay that. Nobody's more frustrated about that than I am. I promise you that. But we're going to be fine. Again, these guys are going to come back. Zach Edey probably just missing 1 game. BC missed tonight, precautionary reasons, some knee soreness. That's fine. We get these guys again in next month, January 24th. Like, it's just right around the corner. They come to the FedEx Forum February the 8th. Excuse me, it's February the 8th. They come to the Forum. We've got an opportunity to play these guys again. This is not the only time we're playing Oklahoma City this year. We've got a chance to get some momentum and get back on our feet. Chalk it up, guys. It's not, this is the old phrase, like, sir, this isn't Wendy's. It's not that serious. We lost to a really good Thunder team tonight. We see, to me, the big thing that came out of this game was a couple things. Ja's doing well. Like I said earlier, he's shooting right-handed, and if your AC is bad, you're not going to be able to do that. 2, it tells me that, yeah, we missed out on DFS, but I think that a consolidation trade has to happen. We're deep, but we're not that deep. Jake LaRavia has regressed hard back to the Jake LaRavia that we knew he was. There's a lot of people that planted their flag on that island that Jake is a great contributor and going to get a ton of minutes for us. Jake hadn't been great lately, and then he twisted his ankle tonight as well. Just another injury, chalk it up. But Jake didn't play great tonight. Luke Kennard is still very passive with the basketball and not shooting nearly enough for a guy who's shooting 43% career from the three-point line. There's just a lot of depth, but not a lot of good depth. We had some great moments. Jay Huff had 17 tonight, a couple posterizing dunks. He played fairly well for Jay Huff. But Jay Huff is not going to be somebody that's going to help us in the playoffs. I hope what we saw today is that, yeah, we missed out on DFS, but we put together a really good offer. We tried. Kleiman was out there. The reported offer was really good. We just got outbid. And they didn't want to take on a lengthy contract like John Konchar's when they could get D'Lo in an expiring deal and be done. I don't blame them. They took the better deal. I actually appreciate Kleiman's frugality and standing firm and saying, hey, this is what we're going to offer. We want this pick protected. We want a second round in return. Like, I appreciate him standing his ground. He 10 toes down, stood on business, and didn't cower down. Like, I actually appreciate that. Yeah, we missed out on DFS, and he went to the freaking dreaded Lakers, and I hate that more than anything. But at least we tried. We put it out there. He didn't sit sitting on his hands doing nothing. I think there are trades out there that are going to happen. Guys, it is December 29th, and we still have a long time, well over a month until the trade deadline. People acting like today is the deadline. Because we didn't get DFS, we're done. We're not going to make a move. Kleiman's soft. He's got to be fired. Remember, this is the same guy who drafted Ja, who got Jaren, who drafted BC, who's gotten this team put together like it is now. We're not even a week away from like the highest point total across 2 games in franchise history. We scored 279 points across 2 games. And everybody was, oh, this is the best team. We're going to beat the crap out of the Thunder. And then injuries happen. Yeah, I've got some concerns, some yellow beige flags that we're not beating great teams. We're beating up on the bad teams, but it feels like every time we play a good team, we're hurt. So I guess my whole message tonight is this. Big picture, it's 1 game in an 82-game season. We're going to be just fine. We're going to get healthy. These guys are going to bounce back. We get several more cracks at the Thunder and likely a playoff series against them if things continue to go well and we get healthy down the stretch. But just because we missed out on a trade today and we lost tonight, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's a dark day. This is a tough day in Grizzlies history for sure. I can appreciate that. I'm not tone deaf to that. I was bummed as well. It's just a gray cloud has been over today for me because of that. But we're going to be just fine. Have a drink, sleep it off. Hop in a Twitter space, check out one of our shows. No Bluffing's going live tonight. Be on the daily grind in the morning, 7:30. Voice your frustrations, get it out of your system. But just know the Grizzlies are going to be fine. We'll be back New Year's Eve playing the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix, and it'll be just fine. Go Grizz.